Hey everyone, Tim Stoddard here, and in this week's video, I am going to show you what is the biggest business opportunity in the history of the world. And I realize that might sound a little bit dramatic, but the numbers don't lie. Okay, so let's get serious. People who follow my newsletter and watch my videos know that I'm very fascinated with demographics. And demographics is just a fancy way of saying the age of the population of a particular area. So the world, and especially Western countries, are older than ever. The population of the world is older than it's ever been. And this is particularly true in Western countries. A lot of it has to do with World War II and baby boomers and industrialism and et cetera, et cetera. However, what's really interesting is that so much of the older generation actually has all of the money. 60-year-olds and older have 50% of the wealth. And this presents a huge, huge opportunity to market to these people. So what's so interesting is that in marketing and in digital marketing, the general consensus is always that you have to market to the 18 to 35-year-olds. They're the ones that spend the most money. They're the ones that are that are the least frugal with their cash, and that's really the best demographic to go after. We're gonna create products for younger people. We're going to tailor our services for younger people. We're going to make marketing material that specifically attracts younger people. But that's really not the case anymore. The money is to be made in older people, but nobody wants to do it because it's not cool and fun and sexy, and it doesn't have anything to do with AI. But if you want to make some money, here's how you do it. I've been fascinated with this topic for a long time. If anybody wants to check out longevitygains.com, this is a really cool newsletter from my friend Brian Clark. He writes a lot about how to market to older adults, but in his blog, he doesn't necessarily talk about specific examples that much. He really talks about the fact that older people don't want to be treated like they're older people, right? They don't want to be sent the AARP cards. Being older isn't what it used to be 100 years ago, right? Being 60, you still have plenty of life left in you, so they're still vibrant. They still have a lot of health. And I found this article on HubSpot, which was really great. So 3 lucrative ways to help seniors live that fit and fabulous lifestyle. Kind of a ridiculous title, but nonetheless, there's some really, really interesting statistics here. So this article argues that senior-only boutique studios is a really great business. I'm not so sure, simply because I'm kind of anti any business that has a lot of overhead. This is just my style. If you want to, become a franchisee of Orange Fitness or Barry's Boot Camp, that's certainly an option for you. Not what I'm looking for. This is really interesting. Adventure tourism and extreme sports. As I said, older people aren't just sitting at home in their rocking chair anymore. They're getting out there. Travel is one of the top priorities for older people. And even right here, how it says seniors, like we got to get over this. If you're treating older people like they're seniors, then they're not going to feel like you're taking them seriously. This is one of the things about longevity gains that I really, really like. And all this is cool, but I think the real opportunity is to create your own brand, your own newsletter, your own media outlet that tailors specifically to people 60 and above. And before I get into some of the really cool data, I want to show you what not to do. So this is exactly what I mean, right? This is windmerlcs.com. It's basically a website that is tailored to older adults. And the whole entire thing is it's such a bad vibe. Here's an article that I'm giving as an example: top 10 health and wellness websites for seniors, right? NIH Senior Health, Medline, Seniors Health, Senior Fitness, Nutrition.gov, the Mayo Clinic, right? All of these websites treat older people like they're dying. Like, they're just, you only got a couple years left, man. You might as well chalk it up. There's nothing really much to do here. Why don't you just stay old and get some shots and go to the doctors every week? And this is such a terrible mistake. This is the Alzheimer's Association. Come on. All of the media entities out there right now and all of the newsletters, that tailor towards older adults treat them like they're old and dying and like they're on hospice. And this is such a stupid missed opportunity. So let's like look at some really interesting data right here, right? So chair yoga. I had no idea that chair yoga was a thing. Chair yoga, if nobody's ever used Google Trends before, this isn't this bar right here. This isn't the actual like traffic numbers. This is an interest graph, right? So if it's at 100, so right here, May 7th, 2024, this just means that the interest for this particular keyword is the highest it's ever been. So on May 7th, 2024, which was 2 weeks ago, the interest for chair yoga was at 100. It doesn't necessarily mean there was 100 clicks. It just means that like the interest peaked. The interest is staying peaking right now. And there's no reason to think that this is going to go down because older people aren't trying to sit at home and do nothing and die. They want to get out there. They want to exercise. They want to find ways to move their body and interact with people. And check this out. The search volume is 42,000 a month. Like, are you fucking kidding me? So Yoga by Adrian is ranking number 1 for this. And I mean, come on, it's just a perfect example. I can only imagine how many views this video has right now. 2.7 million views. I mean, come on. This is just such a perfect example. And Yoga by Adrian, she's like obviously a really killer YouTuber, but she's tasteful and she's not going to treat them like they're poor, dying old people. All right, so water aerobics, look at this. This peaked May 1st. So it's still around like 50% peak interest, but this is huge. The search volume is 9.3 thousand a month. So, I mean, these are just really, really basic examples. I don't necessarily have a whole list of keywords that you can go after or a whole list of topics, but the point I am trying to make is that the opportunity to create news, media, resources, yes, videos. I mean, older people are on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram just like everybody else. The opportunity is so drastic. It's really, really huge. And it quite is literally the biggest monetary opportunity, the biggest business opportunity in the history of the world, right? Like so much of the population is over the age of 60 right now, and all of these people are looking to get out there. So what would I do? I mean, how would I start this? Well, I would personally just create a Substack. My friend's got a great Substack that she uses the magazine theme. So Paulina's Substack is really perfect, right? And yeah, this is great. So one of the cool things about Substack is you can create categories and you can put these categories in the nav bar. This particular Substack has nothing to do with like older people, but it's just a perfect example of how I would structure it. So I will put one of these categories as health and wellness, for travel, for family and relationships, shopping, right? Like yes, older people like to get dressed up and go to dinner. And there's a ton of fucking clothes that can be sold to people over the age of 60. This is exactly what I would do. If you're a writer, if you're a curator, there's so much information and data that's like aggregated all over the place, and nobody has centralized it because once again, everybody's treating them like they need to go to the Mayo Clinic as opposed to treating them like hip people that still have plenty of years left in their lives and want to get out there and they want to do things. I wish I had time to do this because I would do this in a freaking heartbeat. If anybody watching this thinks this is a good idea and you're committed to creating content once a week and original articles and curated newsletters for this kind of thing, talk to me. I would certainly be interested in partnering with somebody about this, but man, I would do this in a split second. And then so you see how with Substack, this is one of the things that you can do, right? Where you can create these different categories. So now you have a newsletter and you have a media company and you're driving organic traffic and you can monetize through a gazillion different ways, which I'm not even going to talk about right now. Right. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. This week was definitely a little bit more free flowing and kind of spitballing it, but the reason is because this opportunity is so new and so obvious that I'm always just shocked that there's not more people trying to do this. So I don't have a whole lot of good examples. All I have is data. All I have is the clear opportunities with the numbers and the metrics and the demographics to show you that like there's so much money here. It's like more money than there's ever been, maybe with the exception of oil, right? Like only oil is more money than this. And man, I hope somebody watches this, takes advantage, and runs with it. All right. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. Please smash that subscribe button, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Appreciate you.